So what is it about Fridays? I mean, there's just something about waking up on a Friday and knowing that, the weekend is finally here. It just makes life a little bit easier to get up and go on. Hi, everybody. Dan Gresham. And I'm, again, messy in the studio. Sorry, but got a little bit of fun going on. A couple of projects that are kind of half completed that working on over on the easel in the art studio. But at the same time, we're here this morning to talk about what's going on in our community. I hope the Friday does find you with a little bit of maybe feeling a little bit better, upbeat as we go into the weekend. Now, if you're making weekend plans, I would have to take a minute to say you might want to adjust things just a little bit because as I saw them before I left the studio, it looks like it's going to be a pretty damp weekend. Now, it's not going to be 100% all the time, but it is going to be raining over the weekend. So if you've got plans going on, you might need to modify them, especially if your plan was to be outside all day. Then you may need to make some adjustments. But that being said, not bad. Let's take a look at it this morning. Before we go any further, I'm a little bit early this morning because I snuck out. I didn't sneak out. I left early to get here this morning to be able to talk to you and to also see what you got going on at your house. So, post up this morning. You know how to do it. It's just like any other Facebook post. Your comments are the post. You can go and tell me where you're at, where you're watching, what's going on this morning, any questions that you may have, any concerns local. We can see what we can do to maybe get somebody to track down some answers for you the best that we possibly can. And again, always preface this by saying this is not a newscast. This is just a casual conversation, you and I, on a Friday morning. By the way, it's the 7th day of January, just if you haven't had a chance to look at the calendar this morning. Now you know. All right, so again, post up if you want. Also, hit me with a like if you don't mind. Goes a long way towards that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit distracted because I'm trying to do 2 or 3 things at one time this morning. But the algorithm is what I was going to say that Facebook uses to push everything out. Faye Wiley, good morning to you. Going to be a nice day. I'm with you 100%. It is going to be a nice day. Tammy Padilla, good morning to you as well. Chiquita, good morning. Hope your day is getting off to a good start. Maybe you're grabbing that first cup of coffee this morning. I'm way ahead of you. Probably about 8 or 9 cups ahead of you. How many cups of coffee do you drink on any given day? You ever thought about that? For some people, it'll be very easy because they go, well, yeah, I only have a couple of cups. That is not the case for me. I have a thermos that I take to work, and it's gone by the time I get home for sure. Some days it goes quicker than other days. It just depends on what's happening when you get into the office, right? All right, speaking of getting into it, let's get into what's happening in our headlines this morning, as we are wont to do. I mentioned the weather. Want to show you what's going on this morning. You can see where it says sunny and 50. I'm sure it'll be 50 degrees. I'm not banking on the fact that it's 50 right now. It's cold. When I was in my wife's car on the way home, she has one of those nice thermometers, if you will, that reads the temp in the car. I don't know how accurate they are, but close enough. It said 38 degrees. It felt it. It felt it for sure. And you're going to feel it when you walk out this morning. So grab the jacket. But there you go. There's what I was talking about. The extended forecast, as you can see, very nice today. Plenty of sunshine. But as you move on to Saturday and Sunday, 50% coverage on Saturday. Then they up it to 70% coverage on Sunday. Now, talking to Chad, he gave me the impression this morning the bulk of the action should come late. I say late. Saturday going into the afternoon, overnight, and then early Sunday morning. And his suggestion is we could see anywhere from a ½ inch to 1.5 inches. Just depends on where you're located. And it won't be everywhere and it won't be all the time, but it will be there. So keep that in mind as you head out. All right, let's get back into things that are popping up on KFDM.com this morning. Remember, all of these are stories that you can access simply by going to the webpage. You can also go to fox4beaumont.com. This is an interesting story, but what does it say? I mean, I'm not talking about what did the words of the story say. But what is this indicative of? What is that you can't apparently keep the restrooms open at a public park in Nederland because every time they do, people vandalize them. And my first question when I heard this story and when I saw this story this morning was like, well, what can you vandalize in a bathroom? I mean, I know people, who are building restrooms that are in a public park really do try to make them bulletproof. I mean, you go into them. I know you're probably like, I'd rather not. But when you do go into, when you happen into them, I mean, they're like a stainless steel, toilet and a stainless steel sink attached to the wall. And that's all there is in there. But as you can see, they found a way to vandalize this one. This is at Dornbos, the city park, probably the most popular city park, I would think, in Nederland. And they've had to literally lock the doors on the restrooms there because every time they made repairs, people come in behind them and tear things up. Is it that old idea that, we just can't have anything nice? Or is it, again, indicative of a deeper, more troubling social issue that we're facing? Or is it kids being kids? But it's interesting because the city councilman who was talking about this brought up an interesting point. He said, we can't be here 24/7 to, patrol the bathrooms to make sure that nobody's going in there and tearing things up. It takes people, it takes citizens to report what they see. And hopefully, you would think they would put security cams up, but again, you almost have to catch people in the act. That's probably not a very good turn of a phrase, catch people in the act when you're talking about. But you get what I'm saying. How do you do that anyway? The stainless steel sink that's mounted on a wall. Do you sit on it? Do you take a pry bar in there? And who carries a pry bar when they go to a public park? I'm not sure what the answer is, but I'm sure that it's not something that only happens in Nederland. In fact, some of you are already saying that you have similar problems here. Faye Wiley says, same thing happening at our restrooms in Kirbyville at the city park. It is sad, Faye. It is sad that we can't have something nice. Jesse, good morning to you. Hope your day is getting off to a good start. I would be curious to know if this is something that like city administrators, park administrators have to talk about, everywhere. And I got a feeling, as Faye said, it's not just Nederland. There are many other places that are probably going through a very similar situation. Also this morning, if you heard us talking about this story yesterday, we're talking about the infusion center. This is a problem that's not happening just in Beaumont. It's happening all over the country where you have infusion centers and they work, but only 2 out of the 3 specific medicines apparently work with the Omicron variant. So instead of being able to choose any one of those 3, now you've narrowed it down to 1, and the demand is so incredibly high all over the country that getting it to these infusion centers has become next to impossible. I mean, you can ask for a lot, but you're only being allotted a small amount. That's the story we're hearing from the county judge in Jefferson County. And that because of that, they have had to institute criteria, put them in place that says, we have to take those who have the greatest need first, and then we'll work our way backwards. And there's no indication at this point when that might change. So that criteria is likely to be in place for a while. Another story of interest this morning. I'm going to end it with this one. I know we're kind of brief today, but it's a Friday. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm sure you are too. Get on with our business. Nobody in Southeast Texas won that, $600 million jackpot. But somebody won some big money. A Batson resident won $5 million. $5 million, not playing lotto or playing the jackpots. He won it with a scratch off. Now, here's what I didn't know. Again, there's the story. Batson resident claims top prize, $5 million, Texas lottery, scratch game, casino millions. It was purchased at J&R Meat Market in Sour Lake. As you can imagine, the person who scratched it off decides they want to remain anonymous. Good on them, right? This was the first of 4 top prizes worth $5 million to be claimed in the game. Casino Million apparently offers a whole lot of money. I have to be straight up front with you, and I try to do that about everything, but this is a good example. I don't know much about scratch-off games. I just don't. It's not something that I do. I just don't. And what I didn't know, and when I do it, it's generally speaking, it may be $2, $5 scratch-offs, and I'll buy them, and but sporadically, maybe it's Christmas gifts or something. But it's just not. I just don't do it. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not something I do. But we're talking about this in the newsroom this morning, and I was a little bit shocked because I had no idea. One of the photographers who works with us in the morning, Derek, goes, that's a $50 scratch-off game. And I was like, $50? Like they pay out $50? And he was like, no, tickets are $50. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, it's a $50 ticket, scratch-off ticket. I said, they make $50 scratch-off tickets? Yeah. I said, you ever bought one? Yeah, oh yeah, See, and that, for me, there's no way that's ever going to happen because I'm a cheapskate. So it's just not going to happen. $50 for me, I can think of a lot of things I do, but I can understand why people would say, hey, $50 and I win $5 million sounds like a pretty good return on my investment. I'm not sure what the odds are, but yeah, $5 million does sound like a good return on a $50 investment. All right, I'm going to leave it at that this morning. I'm going to get out and get some things done. I hope you have a chance to do the same. Hope you have a great weekend. Get everything done that you need to, while you're on your time. And remind you, too, you can continue to follow what's happening in the headlines very simply by staying right here on the KFDM Facebook page. We update stories here, but you can also go to KFDM.com, Fox4Beaumont.com. Plus, of course, you can visit us on Twitter. My particular handle is Morning TV Dan. And also, we have a YouTube page if you want to check it out for the at-home updates. You just go to YouTube and Dan's at Home, subscribe. And if you push the alerts, we'll get them out to you as quickly as we possibly can every time we do an update. All right. Enjoyed the week. Hope you did too. Look forward to seeing you back here soon. So long.